Man, I don't even know who to root for at this point, man. But anyways, you know what time it is. Once again, as usual, times are about that time. Note to self time already, motherfucking. If you don't know it, now you know, bitch. Straight into it. Let's do this shit. You know how we do it. Straight up. But anyways, this video that I'm making is going to be about the Mr. Pop the Balloon guy. You know, the Mr. You're Not Qualified, Weapon X, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power, all that good shit, man. Okay, so if we're following his story, let me just do the overview of everything, okay? Now, he was on that Pop the Balloon dating show or Find Love. Now, thing about him is, you know, the way he handled himself on the show, I 100% agree with. He handled himself very eloquently on that show. Now, aftermath of the show, the girl that he ended up dating, you know, going home with, things ended up not working out. Let's see. And also, they said that he got fired from his job, and you know the people, you know the women, ended up calling his job 500 times, and then it affected his way of doing work and whatnot. And he recently got into an interview with MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, and then it was a 5-hour live stream. There was some things, you know, that he said that was, you know, a little shady with the whole, you know, him tracking his girlfriend through the with the AirTag and whatnot. But pretty much other than that, after interviewing him, MTR, you know, ended up being like, well, I can't trust this guy because now he seems to be lying because he's not showing any evidence of, you know, the job in which he got fired from and all of this shit. And now the speculations are starting to form that he's a scammer, he's a fake, he's a fraud, he's a phony. He's been fooling people and he's using the GoFundMe money to just basically ball out and all this other shit. But really, in all seriousness though, right? Now, he's claiming that the reason of why he didn't show the evidence is because, you know, he's trying to speak to an attorney, or he's trying to find out if whether or not, you know, the certain things that he can mitigate, that he's worrying about the stuff that he's able to speak about, you know, that are confidential and things that he can expose, you know, while he's mitigating, trying to, you know, get his severance pay from his previous employment. Now, the thing is, while I understand that, I mean, it's one of those things that you could look up on Google to figure out if you can reveal the place of work that you were able to, you know, the place of work. If you reveal the information, I don't think that it will, you know, I don't think that it'll compromise the integrity of you being able to receive your severance pay. And to be honest, this is one of the questions that you should be able to ask an attorney. But you don't even have to get an attorney or a lawyer. This is one of those things that you can look up on Google if you have specific questions, or you can actually go on the phone and go to like a law firm and then ask a specific question about that specific thing to be like, okay, is this information that I could be able to divulge in a hypothetical situation? And they'll be able to give you an answer based off of the situation that you're in. All of these things that you can dig up before actually, you know, getting the attorney. And, you know, you can also do research on these things before actually getting the attorney yourself. So, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of things he was saying was shaky. But, you know, to be honest, it ended up, he ended up going on the show called the Kites Z show or whatever. And he ended up, first of all, let's talk about Queen of Accountability. Queen of Accountability. She was speaking with MTR about all of Aaron's credentials and how he was a fake, a fraud, a phony. She's never seen him do any work with his plumbing. He doesn't even have a license. He's a fake, he's a fraud, he's a phony. He's not a good person. He's all of these things. And he's basically a fraud and he's scamming the people and he's just as bad as Rhoda and all of these things that she was saying. Now, he went on another podcast called the Kite Z podcast or something like that as a man with his wife. Basically, they were interviewing him, and he basically showed, you know, the receipts of him doing his work on being a plumber, his license, his credentials, all of that shit. So in that regard, you know, I would say if he showed all of his credentials of being a plumber, his work, all of these things, at the end of the day, Queen of the Accountability, you questioned his integrity of being a plumber. I mean, he actually showed the receipts of him being a plumber. So at the end of the day, I mean, you have to, I mean, you want to hold other people accountable. You're the queen of holding other people accountable. So the one thing that you should learn how to do is hold yourself accountable and admit that you were wrong about the fact that he actually does have his license. He is a licensed plumber. He's a journeyman. He has videos of him doing his humanitarian work, or not, I don't know about humanitarian work, but he is doing work in the plumbing field. And there's pictures of him, you know, actually doing plumbing work like he said he was doing, you know? And so, you know, it's just, I don't know. Now, see, Queen of Accountability did have some good points with what it is that she was saying, and she was right to raise the questions on his validity. But however, his receipts seem to be valid, and so you know, I feel like he's cleared of all the stuff that she was accusing him of. Now, all that's left for her Queen Accountability to do is question if whether or not he is actually somebody who got fired for the reasons that he said that he got fired for. Now, see, the place that he works is an at-will state, meaning that they can fire people for any reasons. But the thing is that they can actually make up any reason for why they fired him, because it's at will. So there's no way, like, I don't know, there wouldn't be any real reason for them to, like, they can literally make up the reasons for why they fired him, because it's at will. They can fire him for any reason. But I would have no choice but to believe that, hey, I got fired because of the dating show, because of all, as he's saying, the calls that he got from his job. And then not only that, but you have, so the calls from his job. And, it was right after the dating episode aired that I had a job, and then now I'm fired the moment the dating show aired, and now I'm losing my job. Like, that's a coincidence, if anything, Right after the dating show airs, then that's when I lose my job, and having all these people call on my behalf because they didn't like what I said. I don't know, Now, I don't know what to believe, but to be honest, the receipts sound good on both sides. I just feel as though, Queen of Accountability was wrong with her. She's saying that she called a dude named Hector, and Hector said that I've never heard of this guy. But the thing is, you were wrong about Hector. He doesn't know a Hector either, so you were wrong about that. What else was she wrong about? She was wrong about his plumbing credentials. She was wrong about a lot of people were wrong about saying that, okay, he was using the GoFundMe money to ball out on his birthday, when, to be honest, the GoFundMe money was never even used. It was, he can't access the GoFundMe. But like I said, man, the one thing that, the Queen of Accountability said that I feel like she did have a good point on was the fact that, okay, listen, you would have to explain the reason for why. Like, focus on the reason for why it is that he got fired from his job. He would have to prove on his end, if she wants, listen, if you want people to believe that you actually got fired for this reason, you would have to show the receipts of the company that you worked at, so then that way people could be able to, verify and shit, So, you would have to disprove Aaron on his humanitarian work that he's doing, and the reason for why it is that he lost his job. As long as you focus on these things, this is what he's going to have to answer for. And this is what the public wanted to hear. Oh, yeah, and the one thing that she did accuse Weapon X, or the Pop the Balloon guy, one thing she did accuse him of doing was stealing other plumbers' work and taking credit for it. That's something that he's going to have to answer for. And honestly, listen, man, if you really wanted to expose this man, one thing that you should have done was call him onto your show and have him speak for himself, so then he could be able to give the receipts, and then, you hold him to the fire of all of the things that, you are holding him accountable for. He can be able to speak for himself. But, she is just going down the rabbit hole, exposing his entire life. Now, some of the things she has good points on, but other things goes past the rabbit hole of, him. It goes past the rabbit hole of his GoFundMe, to where now she's called all of his girlfriends and women that he's dated in the past, and are saying, well, all of the women that he's dated in the past, so that now they're going to talk about all of the bad stuff that he has done in his past, and he's all of these horrible things and just shit from his past. It's like you're exposing shit about him for what he did in his past, So, okay, but the thing is, though, Queen of Accountability inviting all of his ex-girlfriends that he's dated in his past and all the horrible things he's done in his past when he was with his exes, how does that disprove anything about the GoFundMe? How does this disprove anything about him actually getting the reasons of why he got fired from his job? And why does this disprove, like, even if everything the women are saying about this man is true, it makes me see him in a different way, in a different light, But how does this disprove that he was lying about getting fired from his job, that he was lying about all the calls that the people were sending him out? That's the reason why he got fired from his job. How does this disprove, all of the humanitarian work that he's done? I mean, I'm not saying that, I don't, but listen, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm neutral. But what I'm saying is, like, how would that, like, you bringing up his past and him having a kid that he doesn't take care of, how would that disprove everything about what it is in regards to the GoFundMe? Like, how would that disprove anything? You know, I mean, going at his personal life, that's past the reason of why his GoFundMe is up. It doesn't actually prove anything about him lying about shit that's happening to him. You know what? If all the things that the women said about him was true, it's, to be honest, it's probably more than enough reason to suspect that it's probably one of the girls who knew him, one of his exes that knew him, knew where he worked at. They saw him on the TV show and they wanted to be spiteful and be like, let's fuck up and ruin his life. And they brought a bunch of other people to do the same thing, you know, just to get some get back or for revenge. You don't know if that was, you know, to be honest, if he's such a bad person, like how he is, I wouldn't put it past these women to want revenge. One of these women might be petty and want revenge and be like, you know what? I know exactly where the fuck he works. Let's get him fired. Especially if he's that horrible of a person like these women are describing. But anyways, you know, the girls talking about how horrible of a person he was in the past, that doesn't disprove anything about his GoFundMe. It doesn't disprove his humanitarian efforts. The only thing, okay, the only thing, unless what Queen of Accountability is trying to do is attack his character in a way to try to use these girls to try to make people believe that, okay, this man is saying that he fucking changed. This man hasn't fucking changed. Not only has he changed, not only has he not changed, this nigga still ain't fucking shit to this day. You know, this dude ain't shit. So she's trying to prove to people that this man ain't shit by bringing all of the stuff from his past and then trying to correlate it to what he's doing now. Okay. I mean, yeah. But, you know, what people really care about most of all is if whether or not he's lying on the specific things that he's doing right now with his, you know, GoFundMe and all that shit. So the job, he said that he was going to reveal the job after he's negotiated his severance pay. My thing is, shit. I think that maybe he should have had enough, like, to be honest, if I was MTR, I probably would have given this man about a week or two just to be like, okay, so I'll follow up with you in about a week or two. And then if you don't show me, you know, you're that, you know, shit, then I could be able to make my video and be like, this dude's a fucking fraud. You know, just wait it out. Because he's saying, you know, give me some time. You know, give him the appropriate time. Once you give him the time, he'll be able to expose himself if he's lying, if he's telling the truth. My thing is, MTR, ever since that incident of calling the dude a liar, he hasn't made any new content, even about the content where he shows his receipts and proves that he is a licensed plumber. And then the guy who is in the interview guy, the dude who interviewed him where he showed his receipts and proved all the people wrong, well, the guy said that one of his exes, he found out through one of his exes where he used to work and where he got fired from. So, I mean, if the exes knew, it was probably one of his exes, you know, to be honest, that probably did some shit like that. If he's that horrible of a person, it would make sense that these bitches might want revenge, you know? But, you know, karma's a bitch, you know? But there's going to be a lot of people who are sitting on the fence like how I'm doing. I'm just waiting the shit out until the truth comes to light, you know? Queen of Accountability is exposing a lot of things about this dude. She's attacking his character to try to let people know that this dude ain't shit. He's not a changed man. He's still a piece of shit. And so don't donate to him, you know? And this is past the GoFundMe, past, you know, everything. Even if everything he's saying is true, you know, maybe she wants to prove that, you know, his character still hasn't changed despite all of the, you know, despite swearing that he is a changed man, you know? But like I said before, man, it would be a nice thing if Queen of Accountability were to speak one-on-one with Aaron or Weapon X or the Ninja Turtle guy. It would be nice if they spoke one-on-one and got to, you know, dishing out their receipts and all of these things, you know? And to be honest, she's trying to make it seem like he showed just one little receipt and that's it. No, he showed multiple receipts. He showed the receipts of his ID badge, you know, where he used to work, you know, the New Mexico certification, journeyman, places where he works, was doing his excavation and plumbing and all of that shit. And then all of the shit that they were saying about him, like he did, that she was wrong on a few things, you know. But, oh yeah, and the shit that she was talking about with the club and how he got kicked out of the club, I mean, that's kind of irrelevant. That doesn't hold any weight when it comes to, you know, what people really care about. She's calling the club to see, oh, well, he got kicked out of this club because he was drunk and it was acting a fool. I mean, That doesn't really, I mean, nobody really cares about that. But people just care about the main things that people care about is what is he going to, his humanitarian work. He needs to show more of that. And I do believe that, Queen of Accountability was wrong on some things, but she still held his feet to the fire in terms of, you know, you need to prove, you need to answer for the humanitarian work that you say you do, and you need to, prove to the people, you know, if whether or not you had a job or not, the reasons for why you got fired for the reason that you did matches with what it is that they said you got fired for. Which is going to be very hard to do because if their firing policy is at will, they can make up any reason they want to be like, this is why I fired him. But either way it goes, I never donated to the GoFundMe. I'm just somebody who's on the sidelines watching as everything unfolds. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you think is right in this situation? Queen of Accountability or the Pop the Balloon guy? And with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to say. But until then, I'm out. You already know what it is, man. It's the underdog motherfucking soldier. I have spoken and I approve this message. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment sections below. I'm out. Oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot. Queen of Accountability is wrong on one thing. The thing is, you never... Okay, so when he was on NTR's show, he was not asked to provide the license to prove that he was a plumber. They never asked him for his license and certifications on plumbing. He was asked to provide the evidence of where's the place that you work at so we can know who were the people that fired you, basically. And that's the information that he did not want to divulge, that it was taking him a long time because right now they're mitigating his severance pay. And he didn't want to do anything to be able to, compromise that. But however, it was never like Queen of Accountability is trying to make it, or she was saying that, oh, it took you so long to show this certification that you were a licensed plumber. No, he didn't. He wasn't asked to show his certifications. He was asked to show the job where he worked at that got him fired, which he still hasn't done. The only time that he showed his license of certification was when you were questioning him on the fact that he didn't have his license because you didn't see it because it was an updated one. So, I mean, in that regards, that's where she was wrong. But he was never asked to show his certifications of if he was qualified to work as a plumber. He was just asked what was the job that you claim that fired you. That's what he was asked. That's the information that he hasn't and still not has divulged. And that was a question that ultimately made him fall out with MTR. Just wanted to add that in as a side note. And then one of the girls who, were the ex that went on Queen of Accountability show, they were basically hinting out to the fact that they accused him of rape. So basically they're accusing him of being a rapist, saying that, they had done, he was choking them, abusing her, and they ended up having non-consensual sex that she didn't agree to. So basically she was raped, she was sexually assaulted. So, I mean, this is one of the things that the girl was saying, allegedly. So now, what the thing about him is, as I watch the show, he is an alleged convicted, he's an alleged rapist or grapist, which is crazy, I mean, which is a serious accusation. And if it's not anything that she can prove on her end, then, first of all, it's something that he would have to answer for, but, if she ends up being a liar and just, wants revenge or whatnot, I mean, he would be able to there would be grounds for him to sue if she's lying. Yeah, that's just another thing that I wanted to add in there. But anyways, goddamn, like Queen of Accountability, she's just dropping all types of receipts, and I'm watching her live stream as it goes, and I'm just like, damn, when I'm thinking that it's like the end of the video, when I'm thinking it's like, that's all the receipts she has to drop, she just keeps on, just dropping in more. She's like just like an ammunition. She has a whole bunch of ammunition, just one after the other, man. Jesus Christ, he's got his work cut out for him. But anyways, that's all I have to say for now. And I'll make a part 2 if need be. But until then, peace. For real this time. I swear. Goodbye. Deuces.